All right, so here's a couple of stories from history that they think that perhaps the bunnyman is some ghost or spirit that is related to some murders from earlier on.
Ancient Greek history.
Not quite ancient Greek, but it is slightly older. We're talking about the 40s, the 20s, the teens. But,
1940s.
So,
detective work.
Again, this is direct quote from this fella's article here. It would be hard to imagine a more disturbing event for a growing community like Fairfax than the gruesome murders of 37-year-old Frances Holober and her 8-month daughter, June. On Thursday, February 24th, 1949, Mrs. Holober and her daughter drove to Fairfax County. Fairfax County.
Starting to sound like me now.
Yeah, I was on repeat there for a second. In the company of her estranged husband, Charles. All were residents of D.C. Charles Holober later told police that he had come home to see the new lodge at a nudist colony to which Mr. Holober belonged.
Nudist colonies.
This whole thing is so freaking weird. All of it.
Never been to a nudist colony.
Oh, I've been to tons. It's a good way to see a lot of cock.
I suppose.
Upon leaving the lodge, the car became mired in some mud. So the guy immediately leaves the dick and balls community and gets his car stuck in the mud. So the couple quarreled, and Mrs. Holober... Oh, she was with them. I didn't realize that. So the couple quarreled, and Mrs. Holober took the child and walked away from her husband and never returned. Charles Holober spent the night in the car and got a ride back to Washington the next day. He returned with his brother-in-law and friend to retrieve the car, still finding no evidence of his family. The police were finally notified. An intensive search of the area was organized involving Fairfax County Police, Washington detectives, and the Boy Scouts. About 5 o'clock p.m., just as the searchers were about to give up for the night, some of the detectives noted that the ground on which they were standing was very soft. Both mother and daughter, right?
Could it be mud?
Both mother and daughter were found in a shallow grave next to the lodge and less than 200 yards from where Charles Holober's car had been stuck. Frances Holober had been beaten and then shot once in the head and once in the heart.
Oh, my goodness.
The baby girl had been buried alive.
Oh, my goodness.
Right. So...
This got dark, General.
600 feet from the car. So he was right there within, sight distance of them getting killed.
So the guy, the nudes in the car witnessed this happening.
No. But it was right down the street from where the nudes were.
Like on the other side of some trees or something.
Quite possibly, yes.
So they're the witnesses.
There were no witnesses is the problem.
So this is just a happenstance.
Just a happenstance. It just happened that close.
It just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Wow! Yes.
So basically, nothing much ever came of it, but they were saying that it's interesting that there is that sort of crazy murder history in the area. There's other such stories like Minnie Loretta and Catherine Ridgway in March of 1927. They were both killed in the same area. Ava Roy in August of 1918. There's a whole history of violent murders in the area. And that leads some people to theorize that the bunnyman is a vengeful spirit that has been killing people throughout history in this area. And so a lot of these things happen at secluded Lover's Lane type locations, little areas where people go necking. And a lot of even the modern stories, even up through the 80s and even into modern day, people who go to these locations will report seeing a man dressed in a white bunny costume with an axe. However, a lot of these people are folks that just want, their 10 minutes fame and putting a news story out. Or some of them, who knows? Maybe some do see it. Maybe it is an actual thing, and maybe there are people out there dressing up as a white bunny just to scare the britches off some people.